Hello everybody and welcome back once again to QuipScope. It's the show where we take a quip look at a new game that's come out or coming out very soon. My name is Peter.
And my name is Ben.
And today we're going to be talking about SpongeBob. What is the subtitle?
Right. I'm gonna need to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
Rehydrate. I knew it was a sort of reignited style extra word on the end there, but I'd forgotten. Yeah.
Rehydrated, yes.
Rehydrated.
We love it here on TripleJump, Peter, to take sort of abrupt, jarring tonal shifts between episodes of QuipScope. And we couldn't think of a better follow-up for The Last of Us Part 2, which I'm still in the middle of playing, than jumping spongy feet first into SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
So this is a game that me and you weren't I mean, we probably both heard of it, but we if someone had said, what's the sort of reception of that game, or does that have a cult following, we might have said, well, I suppose a few SpongeBob fans liked it, I guess. But it turns out, no, loads of people loved that game, and they were stoked for this remake.
Yeah. So much so that THQ Nordic were like, hey, let us work our weird magic. It's us. We're here to do the thing that you like. Yeah. Here it comes. So yeah, I've had to look up look up the original game on Wikipedia just to familiarize myself with why it's popular. I'll read you this line here, Peter.
Yeah.
Although becoming a major commercial success, Battle for Bikini Bottom received mixed or average reviews according to Metacritic. The game has since also gained a cult following and a large speedrunning community presence. So it was on PS2 and GameCube and Xbox and that sort of stuff. And it averaged about 73?
Oh, okay.
71, so pretty good. It's pretty good.
I'm aware of the speedrunning community around it, actually, because I've seen there's some pretty wild tricks you can do in the speedrun. So I did know about it from there. But yeah, I thought it was one of those games that had been picked up by speedrunners, despite it being, almost not really known by a lot of people. But it seems people were very excited. So going in as someone who hadn't played the original, how are you finding SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated?
Very good.
Thank you.
I think it's lovely. I think it's really lovely. Yeah, I can see the appeal, honestly, because there aren't many platformers anymore. You don't really get them. And they literally, outside of, Ukulele and A Hat in Time, they only exist in remake form currently on the modern platforms. And it looks like at the time of recording, in fact, on the day of release, perhaps earlier today, we're getting another platformer, a new one in the form of Crash. But certainly I can see probably why people really were drawn to this game 17 odd years ago. Because it's just a very lovely, colourful, competent platforming game where you play as various SpongeBob characters and the voice actors are there, and it's got an original story and you've got lots of different things to collect, and it's all very simple and formulaic, and there's nothing really wrong with it. It's almost like comfort food in the form of gaming. I think for a lot of people who perhaps weren't necessarily, I don't want to generalize, but I'm gonna guess that perhaps people weren't old enough to get into The Simpsons Hit and Run. This was that sort of game for them. They grew up watching SpongeBob. The SpongeBob game came out, the Battle for Bikini Bottom, and you know what? It's actually pretty darn good. The same with what's it called? The other one? Hit and Run. There it is.
Hit and Run.
Yeah, Hit and Run was for The Simpsons. It seems to be that same sort of time period anyway.
Well, especially if there are multiple characters to play and there are most of the TV show voice actors. I don't think I was aware of that necessarily. I thought that maybe, Tom Kenny might be involved because he has done video game voice acting before, and I don't think I necessarily knew you play as different characters. But so is it like most of the cast seem to have returned, or? Well,
I wasn't sure if they've just reused the original ones. I'm looking at the wiki. I'm looking at the wiki page now for the new one, which clarifies a bit more. And it says that it will feature the original archived audio, but also use new, never before seen recordings. However, Mr. Krabs isn't in it, and that's really jarring.
Oh.
They haven't got Mr. Krabs back. It's another guy doing the voice, and it at best sounds like someone doing an impression of Mr. Krabs. It's really noticeable.
Oh no.
Which is a shame, but then you have to remember that actually this game probably isn't for adults, even though it's cashing in on nostalgia. This will predominantly be aimed at children, so they may not actually mind or notice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How does it look? Again, we've got limited ability to compare with the old one, but in a sense, you don't necessarily need to do that. This is a game in and of itself, whether or not it's a remake. How does it look just as a game, a modern game on current consoles?
It looks fine. It runs smoothly. It's really vibrant and colourful, just like the show. There are various aspects, and again, I'm not sure if they were in the original game because I didn't play it, that tie it into the show, where occasionally you'll get a real hand comes onto the screen when you accidentally jump off a ledge or something.
Yes,
and it'll drag you off the screen and then put you back on again. But then some of the transitions between levels and stuff feel a little bit, like they could have had more care and affection put into it. And if this is just a straight up remake and they're like shot for shot remaking the old game, then to an extent, fair enough. But as we've seen with other remakes, sometimes you can enhance things that were quite minimal in the original game. Things like the 10 minutes later is just text on it's just subtitles at the bottom of the screen. They don't have like the full title card, that they have in the show. Where it says 10 minutes later, you just get the voiceover and the gameplay continues underneath. And it's like, even something as small as that would have made it feel a bit more authentic. But that is, that's just a sort of a pet peeve when talking about the presentation. It's just a fun platformer. It's not something that's going to take the world by storm. I would honestly be surprised if it was in contention for, Game of the Year at the end of the year. But on the whole, there's nothing wrong with it, really.
Well, that's the thing. With a remake or remaster, there tends to be almost a different set of criteria or different kind of yardsticks for appraising it than there would be for a brand new game that comes out. So you do have to think like it's fair enough to say, well, look, they could have added actual cards that say 10 minutes later.
Yes.
I think that's a fair criticism. Even if, as you say, well, maybe it's the reason they've done that is because they're doing it shot for shot. Well, why didn't they enhance it in a way? It's supposed to have been rehydrated, this game.
Yeah, what the frick, Richard?
Jeez. God. How does it play as a platformer? Because platformers, they need to play well.
Well, SpongeBob can do a single jump, he can do a redacted double jump, and he can do, butt slams, and he can spin his little, his little jellyfish catching net around by way of attacks. There are robots that Plankton has unleashed upon Bikini Bottom that act as the main antagonists. The first level that people will be looking at footage from is set in jellyfish fields. So there are also jellyfish floating around as well that you can't fight, but if they get too close to you, they'll shock you. Oh boy.
Oh, they're gonna get you.
They will. You pick up various sort of, I can't remember what they're called. They're called shiny objects. That's what they're called. I'm just panning through my footage that I've captured. Shiny objects is what they're called. And they act almost like money bags in Spyro, where you'll get up to a certain point in the level and it will be pay so many shiny objects to rebuild this bridge, for example. And then you'll be able to get across and continue with the level. There are these little cardboard boxes that act as sort of teleporters between different parts of the level. So when you get there are checkpoints, obviously, but when you get to a certain point in the game, in that level, you can then hop into it and be teleported back to an earlier point in that level. So you can get around it quite quickly if you want to. The sort of hub world is SpongeBob Street with the three houses there, Patrick and Squidward and so on. And you can play as other characters as well. I will say actually that sometimes the platforming can be a little finicky in that it does that thing where you sort of have to rely on seeing where the character's shadow is underneath you to know where to land. And that can be really hard when SpongeBob isn't that big, and so he doesn't cast a very big shadow.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to jump on little boxes, which you don't always have to do, and usually at the end of those little boxes there's an optional collectible, like a golden spatula, for example. Actually a fish slice, but don't worry about it, it's fine.
Well, you don't want to say fish slice.
No, actually, that's very true. Yeah, you can't say that here. You'll be run out of town. But sometimes it can be a little tricky to land on those ledges. But honestly, if you, again, taking a step back and looking at this game completely objectively, it's, I would like to think, going to live up to the hype that people nostalgic for the original game will have for it, because it, just by virtue of it existing, in that it's not broken and there's nothing really fundamentally wrong with it.
Yeah.
And also it's just gonna be great for kids. It's a great kids game. Kids love the SpongeBob. They love him.
Are you ready, kids?
I chapped in. They love him.
Oh,
they
good.
love all that. So I think it's just gonna really serve its purpose, and it's one of the few examples of a remake where it's not, hey, remember this incredible, amazing game from back in the past that you can't play anymore. It's just like, hey, we're gonna remake a kids game, and they seem to have remade it very well.
Well, I'm glad that that's turned out well. You never quite know with these remakes, this recent slew of remakes, but that sounds like they've done a good enough job.
Yeah.
Hey, THQ Nordic, well done you.
Well done you.
For doing something with one of the franchises that you bought.
You did it.
Yeah.
This one was actually published by THQ originally.
Originally?
The old THQ, yeah.
God, well there you go. So in a way they've not done anything with one of the franchises they bought. They've just used an old one.
Yeah, in some
hoarding
sense.
all this stuff.
What even is THQ Nordic? I don't even understand how that company existed or came into being. But there we go.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But in any case, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. More like SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom huge title.
Brilliant.
See, because there was an H in hydrated and also one in huge title, so that was a really good pun.
No, that was good. That was good. How about SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated? More like SpongeBob SquarePants. Ben did his best to talk about a remake, even though he didn't play the original remake, and I hope everyone was okay with that and found this video useful. Rehydrated, sorry, yeah, Rehydrated.
That's it. Let's take it.
That's the one.
It to the bank.
That's the one. Okay, well, the game's out tomorrow, if you're interested, and it's coming out on Microsoft Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
Good. Well, there we go. Join us whenever the next new game comes out for some more chat about a brand new game here on QuipScope on Team TripleJump on YouTube.
Absolutely.
That's the end.
That's it. That's the end now. Bye, everyone. Bye.
See you later. Bye.